And viewers, I'm getting some breaking news coming in. India is all set to witness history as a special session of Parliament takes place on 16th April to pass the 33% Women's Quota Bill amendments and bring to reality a landmark reform. The government will also move the bill to increase Parliament seats to 816. But sources close to Revanth Reddy have told Newsx about Congress's position on the matter. As per sources, Congress will demand women's quota in Parliament before de-elimination, citing it as a ploy to make South India relevant. Anand joins me with more on this news. Anand, what has the Telangana Chief Minister told you off record?
Yeah, Vaishali, look, if we talk specifically about Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, who was in the national capital yesterday to attend the Congress Working Committee meeting, the party's highest decision-making body, to discuss the Women's Reservation Bill that has been all set to be brought in the 3-day special parliament session from April 16 to 18. So what we have learned from our sources is that the Chief Minister, Revanth Reddy, was very categorical as he clearly mentioned that if the government wants to implement this Women's Reservation Bill, then it should implement on the 181 seats out of the 543 seats that are currently in Lok Sabha. So clearly, after which the delimitation and census exercises can be taken up. So clearly, this is a big bold statement by Revanth Reddy, who has earlier also mentioned that how this delimitation, if carried out by the government, will be a injustice with the southern states, as the number of seats and the differences, as the government sources have said that how the 50% of the seats in every states are going to increase. So thus taking the total number of Lok Sabha seats to 816, whereas the northern states like Uttar Pradesh, which has 80 parliamentary seats, if going by the 50% formula, then its seats will increase to 120. And Reddy was very categorical as he mentioned about Kerala. He cited the example of Kerala and he said already there is a difference of 60 seats between the two states, as Kerala has only 20 parliamentary seats, and if given the delimitation formula, the number of seats in Kerala will go up to 30, while the number of seats in UP will go up to 120. Thus the difference in the number of seats between these two states will be of 90. So clearly he has been mentioning that the current distance, the current proportion to which the seats of parliament and assemblies have been allocated to states, that should be maintained so that the distance between the north and south does not increase in the coming days. So clearly this was the thing that he very categorically mentioned, and he highlighted how it will be an injustice with the southern states who have been taking up the government's formula of controlling population across the country. So clearly they have been saying that how it will be a kind of punishment to the southern states. Back to you, Vaishali.
Anand, does this mean that the passing of the Women's Quota Bill will not be a unanimous decision?
Yeah, Vaishali, look, when we have asked, even in fact, I asked Revanth Reddy during the informal chit chat that what will be the criteria for the opposition party if the government tries to bring this delimitation along with the Women's Reservation Bill. So Reddy was very categorical as he said that look, the Women's Reservation is the brainchild of the Congress party, as Rajiv Gandhi has brought in this bill, and then it was Sonia Gandhi who has pushed for the Women's Reservation in Parliament during the UPA government as well. So clearly this has been our brainchild, this has been our baby. So clearly they have been mentioning that we don't have any issues with the Women's Reservation Bill, but the way in which the government is trying to bring delimitation, this is going to make southern states more irrelevant. And he further accused the centre that how for them everything is all about politics, as he categorically the sources claim that how Revanth Reddy targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Union Home Minister Amit Shah, saying that for them everything is about politics and everything is about taking credit out of the politics. So clearly he lambasted the government, saying that the way in which they are going to bring this Women's Reservation Bill is only about optics and to take political mileage just ahead of the crucial assembly polls in West Bengal as well as in Tamil Nadu. And he also mentioned that how the gap between the southern and northern states will increase, as he highlighted that how around 41% is the contribution of the southern states in India's financial economy, whereas they only get around 34% back, whereas the ill states of the country that are mostly in the northern part of the country, that includes Bihar, that includes Uttar Pradesh, as well as that includes Madhya Pradesh, they get maximum chunk of the finance from the government and support from the government. So he was very categorical that the way in which the government is trying to impose this delimitation on the southern states, it's not going to benefit them, and it will only grow the differences between the two north and south India. And even the sources claim that how Revanth Reddy mentioned about that हम तो अभी पहले से ही घायल हैं, हमें और घातक मत बनाओ. So he was clearly mentioning that how if someone is literally down, then one should not kick him when he is or else he will be becoming more dangerous in the coming days. So clearly when I asked him particularly that what will be the stand.
I'll come back to you. Now, as per sources, Sonia Gandhi has spoken on the delimitation bill inside the CWC meeting. Inside sources tell us that Sonia Gandhi will propose making a quota for OBCs within the Women's Reservation Bill. Anand Singh is joining me. Anand, what is Sonia Gandhi's position on the bill?
Yeah, Vaishali, look, Sonia Gandhi has been very categorical even when this bill was brought in the parliament in the last September 2023. So clearly at that point of time also the Congress party had demanded that there should be a reservation under reservation for women, especially for the OBC community women among the Women Reservation Bill. So clearly the place where 33% of the women's seats are going to be reserved for the women, there should be also reservation for OBC communities. So clearly this has been the stand of Congress party, and once again sources indicated that how Sonia Gandhi yesterday during the CWC meeting, that is the party's highest decision making body, she once again retreated this demand, and which was backed by leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha Rahul Gandhi, as well as Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, as well as Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and several of the CWC members. And even Jairam Ramesh has been saying the same, that the Women's Reservation Bill has been one of the biggest bills that has been proposed by Congress for upliftment of and empowerment of women in the parliament. Back to you, Vishal.
Anand, now won't demanding the OBC quota within women's quota dilute the bill, and will the BJP accept it?
Yeah, Vaishali, look, the way in which there is section 334A under which this bill was brought in and under which the amendments were followed, the constitutional amendments were followed. So clearly there has been demand that how the OBC community people have been left out in giving representation in the parliament. So clearly this is one of the major demands of the opposition parties, as they have been demanding quota under quota. Whereas if we talk about BJP, they had earlier clearly mentioned that how 33% women reservation bill is as of now being brought, but they didn't talk about providing reservation under reservation. So it will be clearly one of the points on which the Congress and other opposition parties will be pushing for discussion during the 3-day special session of parliament that is scheduled from April 16 to 18, and then they will also try to question the BJP that what is their stand on quota under quota for inside the women reservation bill, which talks about giving reservation to the OBC community women. Back to you.
Stay on, Anand. Now, as per sources close to Revanth Reddy, the Telangana Chief Minister claims that the delimitation bill is being moved to increase disparity between North and South states. Reddy, as per sources, also said that South is the financial capital of India and asserted that the BJP wants to rule India through the Bimaru states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. Reddy, as per sources, also claimed that states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar get more return from the centre as compared to the southern states. Back with me is my colleague Anand Singh. Now, Anand, what is this Bimaru attack made by sources close to the Telangana CM?
Yeah, Vaishali, look, if we talk about Telangana Chief Minister mentioning especially about Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, that how these states have been one of the Bimaru states or the ill states financially in last several decades, looking at their development ratio. So clearly he mentioned that how the northern states are going to gain significantly from this delimitation drive that the government will take on, as the 50% formula that has been proposed, that has been known by the sources. It clearly indicates that the number of seats in all these big states is going to increase by 50%. So clearly 80 of the parliamentary seats in Lok Sabha in UP will go to 120 seats. Similarly in Bihar, that is as of now 40 seats, it will go up to 60. Then in Madhya Pradesh from 29, so it will go up to 34. So clearly the difference he cited with Kerala number of seats, which has only 20 Lok Sabha seats, and that will go up by only 30. So clearly the difference between the north and south state, if it's not proportionate, then it will be very difficult, and it will only make the gap wider between the north and southern states, as he clearly had mentioned that how this is what the sources have said, that southern states are called the financial capitals, whereas the northern states are called the political capitals, and where the northern states have more say in the national politics rather than the southern states. So clearly this divide is only going to increase in the coming days with the proposed formula for delimitation, and so clearly he has demanded that the government must hold proper discussion with the southern states first over delimitation, and then only it should proceed cautiously, so that there is no injustice done with the southern state in regard to the number of seats that the southern states will gain according to the formula suggested by the centre. Back to you.
Anand, Mr. Kharge is called Gujaratis illiterate, and Mr. Reddy, as per sources, is calling UP and MP Bimaru states. Now, has the Congress given up on the north?
Yeah, look, when several of the states indicators, they have been also published by the Niti Aayog and several other government organizations, we have seen that how Bihar and several other states have fared in last few decades. So clearly the jibe that Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy maintained was based on that report, that how these states who have not been doing fairly well on the GDP ratio or in development indicators, and how they were getting more support from the centre as compared with the southern state. So clearly Mallikarjun Kharge has not spoken a word on this as of now, but in the coming days we will soon hear from the Congress leaders that how the government is trying to pave its way to form government in the 2029 elections through all these northern states, where the number of seats will increase significantly. And if we talk particularly about 7 to 8 states in northern India, then clear-cut victory will be taken by BJP, as they have got their strongholds in this state. So this is the argument that the southern state leaders are making, that how big gap, a big divide is being created between north and south in regard to delimitation process that has been suggested. Back to you.
Thanks, Anand, for joining me. And now on to some war updates.